look at these pictures, I don't see the big deal.
Bro,
like, I'm sorry. Like, this isn't Camille F. Johnson up there with Hugh Hefner.
You're running away because you know you're wrong.
No.
Sports Illustrated is known for pushing the envelope.
You literally sounded like a Sadducee saying he hangs out with harlots and
No,
publicans.
but that's the problem. That isn't what I'm saying. The whole thing is...
Then don't
that,
wear a plaid shirt with a Carhartt hat and a beard as you say it. At least throw on some pearls like Kwaku, because you literally look like Matt Walsh's angry uncle.
Women are not empowered by selling their sexuality and their bodies for money.
All right, I've got to destroy everything you just said. So here's what I'm saying.
How did that destroy anything? That was just
I'm
like a bunch of like.
Let him explain.
I'm about to steal my point, but he starts singing the Star Spangled Banner.
No, hold on. And this is where people are misconstruing what I'm saying.
Okay, hold on.
I don't think it's a sign of good mental health when a woman is going out and making money by flaunting her body in public.
I agree with that.
Wait. So but hold on. That is a fundamental indictment of the modeling industry as a whole, because that's inherently what you're doing. And I don't think that's a good take, bro.
I'm not a prude.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Ward Radio. I'm your host, Cardin Ellis. I'm joined in the studio by Kwaku L, Brad Whitbeck, and Jacob Hansen. Now, recently we had a live stream in which some kind of debacle broke out. Like, Brad, you were kind of, a little out of character, getting a little bit angry at Jacob.
Yeah.
And Jacob, you were very in character, sounding like a conservative right-wing radio host yelling at the sky over perceived degeneracy of modern society. And it had to do with Sports Illustrated swimsuit models at BYU and the Relief Society. And we promised we would revisit this, so you guys both had a chance to air your grievances. And
I'm mad about this too.
Oh, are you really? See, I don't know what's going on. So here, Brad, you take who wants to take this one?
I can start off just by saying I learned a very good lesson. Number one, don't be involved in reading through the live stream comments and then try to match Jacob Hansen's energy and make a joke that then comes across very wrong.
It's that BDE.
Yes.
BDE right there, dude.
Brad, you like literally came to me the other night and was like, dude, I'm like really sorry. Like, it's so Brad.
I felt so bad.
Dude, you're talking to me, bro. Like, just it's all good.
And that's the thing. I think it's funny because, like, I don't know that our audience recognizes how good of a relationship we have. And so, like, we can say almost anything to each other without really offending each other because we're trying to, like, get the ideas across to each other in a way that we then understand.
Yeah,
right?
They don't know about the post-show cuddling that we do.
Yeah. Totally. So to get to the point of the actual discussion.
Yeah.
I think that the concern came across in the live stream as though this is an issue about whether or not.
Okay, but what happened? I still want to know what is the root of what happened.
So can I run real quick with what the?
Yeah, I'm right there.
Okay, go.
Okay.
It came across as though this is an issue about whether or not swimsuit modeling is empowering when there's more to it with the BYU event itself. So take it away, Jacob.
So what happened at the BYU event?
So here's
what
the story. Here's the story.
Okay.
So BYU is now in the Big 12, and the Big 12 was partnered with BYU to put on an empowering women event, right? So it's a women's empowerment event called Lean In Together. HER.
Oh. So now, is this like real actual empowerment, like girl power? Is it just the leftist talking points where like, go get an abortion so you're empowered?
That's kind of the question, right? And so the thing is the speakers that were invited to speak at this conference at BYU in the Marriott Center included, as reported, it says, we'll host a panel with the Sports Illustrated swimsuit representative models, Maddie Dewey, Jasmine Sanders, Berkeley Wright.
That's just good marketing, bro. Like,
and here's the point that I wanted to make.
I mean, we send all the hot chicks to Temple Square to be the missionaries in Temple Square. Sports Illustrated is sending all the hot chicks to be like big twat. Okay.
There's an added layer to it because this old man yells at sky conservative talk show host angry about this is an added layer of, hey, this is marketing that is working, right? This is a win for their marketing move.
I think sister missionaries should be allowed to wear bikinis if it assists.
Oh my gosh.
If it assists in them getting solid references and more plates, more dates for the dudes. I think our 3 most yoked elders should be down there on Venice Beach. You know what I'm saying? Just pumping iron and then doing it one-handed and passing out a pass-along card. You know what I'm saying? Just like boom.
Well, here's the thing. They were invited to speak as empowered women who are going to speak, slated to speak on mental health.
So
now,
let me stop you right there, because I think right now what you're doing is presenting a little bit of a different picture than at least what I understood happened from the way BYU presented it. So this is what I want to set up is a dichotomy here of a bit of a thought experiment. First off, we have on the one end, BYU sets up an event in which they invite Sports Illustrated women swimsuit models to come speak on panels with the General Relief Society president, right? Is that something that you have a problem with?
Not inherently. No, I don't. This isn't like they're unclean, like get them out of here. It's the context of the fact that they were put on stage as models of empowered women.
So
to speak on the subject of mental health. And my thing is this. I don't think it's a sign of good mental health when a woman is going out and making money by flaunting her body in public.
I agree with that.
Wait. So but hold on. That is a fundamental indictment of the modeling industry as a whole, because that's inherently what you're doing. And I don't think that's a good take, bro.
But I think there's more to this question, because I want to set up the other side of this. Would there still be a problem if this were happening at ASU and you had the empowerment panel, which then included the Relief Society president as well? Would that be a problem still?
It would still be a problem. Any women's conference anywhere that implies that a woman is empowered by being a Sports Illustrated model, meaning, like, go look at the magazine, guys. Like, I can't put the images on here of these women that were on that panel, literally with their nipples showing in images that, and these...
One of them had a fishnetty kind of swimsuit. It was kind of edgy.
It wasn't a fishnetty. It was literally just a fishnet over her body. And so this woman, the reason these women are on stage at all is because they are affiliated with Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition. And so what that means is that the implied message is that these are examples of empowered women qualified to speak on mental health. Like, no.
Well, you don't think models haven't had it tough trying to get to the top enough to be considered a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, and haven't had to overcome some kind of self-loathing, self-doubt?
No, I think if you are if you are going out there and literally utilizing your body and selling it to men to look and ogle you, you have mental health problems.
Not prostitutes, bro.
Dude, I'm sorry. If my daughter was going out and being a Sports Illustrated model, and I'm not showing the images. Like, I hate this because I want to almost show the image and be like, yeah, you think that's good? That's what you want your daughter doing? Like, my daughter doesn't understand her worth, and mentally she is seeking validation and money in all the wrong places if you are out there engaging in softcore pornography.
Do you really... hold on. Okay, this is where sometimes...
I can drop the images into the Discord.
Okay, drop them into the Discord.
It is softcore pornography, but I don't want to do it on my show.
I Googled one of their names and typed in Sports Illustrated, and I'm not sure if the algorithm is just giving me but this is what it gave me, and I'm also opposed to this. So, but I don't think this is the image you're talking about.
What is it? Oh, that's funny.
Okay, so I think this is moving a little bit into the weeds about whether or not swimsuit modeling is empowering, right? Which I don't think is the core issue of this happening at BYU, right?
Real quick. I can make it you were conflating something, Cardin. I'm not saying that all modeling is equally bad, but I'm sorry. Sports Illustrated is a men's magazine, and the intention of that issue of the magazine is to put women in extremely sexually provocative poses and extremely provocative sexual swimsuits in order to evoke a male sexual response where the men are getting all hot and bothered over these super hot girls and they're making money off it. women are not empowered by selling their sexuality and their bodies for money.
All right, I've got to destroy everything you just said, Jacob.
Okay, go for it, Kwaku, because I got my own.
I'm gonna read a quote from this article.
Okay,
a quote from this article from the women at this exact conference.
Yeah, what they actually said.
You are not defined by one thing, Wright said. You are able to wear many hats and do them all well as long as you are yourself, because that is the most beautiful thing you can be. You have to find ways to balance it all, Sanders said, as she described ways to overcome struggles in life. Sundays are huge days for me. I love church. I love the farmer's market. Those are two things that no one will stop me from doing on a Sunday. Select a day to take time for yourself and stand by it. So here's what I'm saying.
How did that destroy anything? That was just like a bunch of like.
Let him explain.
I'm about to steal my point, but he starts singing the Star Spangled Banner. Here's what I'm saying, okay? You're the exact person that they're referencing here. Because the reality is, young women in America, the majority are wearing bikinis when they go hot tubbing or swimming or the beach. The majority are.
I actually don't have a big problem with most bikinis.
Have you been to any
modest bikinis? I have no problem with.
No, I didn't say that. I said bikini. Okay, I say a real bikini, and these are all thong bikinis for the most part. That's just how it is.
And you think that's totally cool? Like Latter-day Saint women wear a thong bikini, no big deal.
Here's what I'm saying.
Next Relief Society activity, just go to the beach with it.
Here's what I'm saying.
You can ask me that question next.
Oh my gosh, Garden. Oh my gosh.
By trying to, you're going to be successful in saying, okay, this is what you're doing. I would love to see you at church anyway, which is what they're saying. But you're saying, no. You are in the different part of the caste system. You shouldn't speak up here.
No. Hold on. And this is where people are misconstruing what I'm saying.
And it doesn't help that you're wearing.
Dude, I will go on with the most. I will have conversations with anyone. We'll talk about all sorts of things. The difference is that this is about modeling empowered women. These women are not empowered women. They are actual victims of a culture that sexually exploits women for men's gain and basically to promote stereotypes about women.
But you're creating a novel out of a sentence. We don't know what else they do in regard to Sports Illustrated. We don't know how much involved in marketing. We don't know how much involved in their own apparel brands. We don't know how much stuff they're selling based on their own personal brands that have been launched from these shoots.
The only reason they are in this conference is because of their association as models in Sports Illustrated Swimsuit edition. If they were not models in that Sports Illustrated edition, they wouldn't have been on that stage. That's why they're there. That's their primary thing that they're known for.
And who else was on that stage, though? That's, I think, an important
Society
aspect.
president of the church.
And the way that you have said this in what you've discussed so far makes it sound as though they're on the same panel. So I want to do a quick thing.
But also,
wait. We got to go through what the actual situation is here, because you've so far made it sound as though BYU went out of their way to bring swimsuit models to say these are empowered women as well. This is what's happening. This is what's actually happening. You have the Big 12 has done 3 women's empowerment conferences at other schools that are part of the Big 12. So think about it like this. You're BYU. What are you going to do? The Big 12 comes and says, hey, we've been doing these empowering women conferences at all of these different places. We want to do one with you guys too. We want to let you have your speakers come out. We want to have you let the General Relief Society president of your religion come out and like speak to these people and have a positive influence.
On paper, it sounds good enough.
Yeah, on these different people. I think that's a very different situation than the way that you've presented it, as though it's BYU going out of its way to set up its own conference, right? Do you think that?
Yeah, and then what we're going to do is...
Can I have the question out? Because I think this will help guide the conversation a little bit better. What do you think BYU should do in that situation? Would it be better for them to say, no, we aren't going to be involved with this because Sports Illustrated models are involved? Or is there some other thing that they should be doing, right? Like that's what I think is the core of the question.
So if I was at BYU and they bring this to me, I say, oh, excellent, that sounds great. So who are the panelists going to be? And they say, well, one of them is going to be a really well-known porn star. And she's going to talk about how important religion is to her.
That's a pretty big leap from swimsuit model to porn star.
Now I'm doing that intentionally. It's called using extremes so you can figure out where the line is.
Yeah, which is reasonable.
Obviously, at some point you go, wait a minute, we're not in alignment here on what women's empowerment means. That's the thing. We have all these buzzwords in society. But when you get down to it, the reality is that the church should never endorse the idea of these women that are involved in softcore pornography for men, that these women are examples of empowerment. And if the church gives that impression, they're going to confuse the membership.
So your position is the fact that BYU allowed swimsuit models to speak in this.
Not just swimsuit models, specifically women who are.
I looked at these pictures. I don't see the big deal.
Bro,
like, I'm sorry. Like, this isn't Camille F. Johnson up there with Hugh Hefner and Sister Tiggle Bitties. This is literally it's like not a big deal.
It has also come across.
Do you think it's okay for young men in the church to look at Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition?
How are they looking at it? Under their bed and under the covers at night? Oh, yeah, maybe not.
What do you think, guys? Why do you think men buy Sports Illustrated?
No one even buys magazines. What are you talking about?
You're avoiding the question.
You're running away. You're running away because you know you're wrong.
No,
At the end of the day, they buy that magazine. They buy that magazine because it's sexually gratifying. Guys like to look at big old boobs and women barely clad, and that's wrong.
This is what I'm saying. It doesn't pass the smell test. One, I don't know a single man who buys a magazine. Two, I do not believe. I'm not kidding. I don't know one guy who has bought a Sports Illustrated magazine ever under the age of 28. Second, I don't think it's past the smell test. There's no way.
Then how does Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition make its money?
If you're saying the only reason these women were at the conference was because they were Sports Illustrated swimsuit, it doesn't pass the smell test.
Okay, why would they be if they weren't?
Okay, so dudes.
Well, I'm saying though, in the age of influencing and modeling, every single model I know has an apparel brand attached to her, has a podcast, has a number of other things.
Yeah,
all these models become little entrepreneurs.
If you go sell your body to men, you will get a lot of other opportunities.
Okay, so you're saying this woman did 5 shoots with a bikini, fishnet, whatever, but now
with her nipples showing.
Okay, I haven't seen that one there, but okay, sure. There is a little bit of nippy. Okay, and now she may be perhaps an entrepreneur who's done X, Y, Z.
To me, empowered woman.
100%.
She got empowered, and the way she got empowered was by showing off her body.
Okay, hold on.
This isn't. I just don't think it's that big.
Okay, chill. Can I jump in on my own podcast for a minute? Are you guys okay with that?
No. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So Jacob. If I were to talk strategically, okay, I get that optically maybe BYU stepped in it by not having vetted this panel, because at the end of the day, they introduced a gray area that, deserves discussion about where is that line between that which is pornographic and then that which is just edgy marketing. All right, I get it. And there is no real line for everybody. It's different. That's why Clarence Thomas, didn't he say, I'd recognize it when I see it, right? Okay. So I get that maybe they stepped in it. It probably was not wise for the most conservative church-based university in North America to all of a sudden just parade a bunch of scantily clad Sports Illustrated.
And they weren't scantily clad at
people that got famous.
Thank you for clarifying that, because I think a lot of people are hearing this and thinking, oh, they had barely anything on while they're on stage.
But they probably would have put out a trigger warning for all the students. Hey, by the way, don't Google any of these women on the stage right now. You might see some inappropriate images.
I get that. You got the plaid shirt on with the Carhartt shirt, with a Carhartt hat. Nobody doubts your conservative gravitas, okay?
Walsh or something.
So, yeah, exactly. Seriously, nobody's doubting your position in this issue, okay? So here's my only problem with this, okay? I would not care, because first off, when we're talking theologically, I love how Trent Horn says, it's bad when Christians argue against Mormons and when they take the positions of the atheists. You know what I'm saying? When believers argue like atheists, it's wrong, right? Well, Mormons, I'm uncomfortable when we all of a sudden start arguing like Protestants and like angry Quakers and like the people that burned my great aunt at the stake in the Salem witch trials. To me, this just kind of smacks of prudishness a little bit more.
Oh, I'm not a prude, dude. I'm not at all.
Bro, you're getting about... all I'm saying, I'm kind of with Kwaku on this, that I lived in a children's hospital with my daughter fighting for her life for a year. There's students at that university that are wondering how they're going to make next month's tuition payment, whether or not their student visa is going to run out because there was just a military coup in the country in Africa they were, they came to study from. That country doesn't exist anymore. Like, there's such high level problems that when we all of a sudden start engaged in the modesty talk, the reason why I just veer away from it and I'm almost so uninterested in it anymore is because it never talks about the spiritual principle of modesty and always veers into propriety laws as dictated, well, by who? By 1960s fashion standards that still predominate our church and our kind of Puritan history on this. And personally, I think, Mormons, they can afford to spice it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They can afford to freaking learn a thing or two. Hold on, because I was a model in New York, dog. Brad's an actor who's been hired just for his good looking face. All right. And trust me, it's not all, it's not all roses and rainbows. It's a lot of hard work. I've seen Brad running around this freaking studio, getting his annoying AF 20,000 steps in a day because he wants to cut 5 pounds before he has to take his shirt off and be the lumberjack that saved Brigham Young or whatever in some church video. You know what I'm saying? And Kwaku, I've seen him leave at freaking 12 p.m. when I know he's got to get up at 8, which means he's really only going to get up at 9 to go lifting weights so he can look all yoked and do his supplement brand and his apparel crap. And like, so to me, it's a little bit disrespectful and ignorant. Jacob, I agree with you on 99% of what you said. I know.
One comment
but once you've been in that industry, you understand how it's not just this softcore porn that's monetizing the male gaze and a bunch of knuckle dragging troglodytes walking around going, oh, Sports Illustrated, I'll go buy that. Some of it is a celebration of that which is beautiful, and compared to like legit porn and like destructive stuff and addictive stuff, I have zero problems with the cheerleaders at BYU short skirts being a little bit short. I have zero problems with the freaking Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, and it just like, I kind of think there's a reason why we have oil in engines, and maybe this is why I'll never be bishop, right? Maybe this is why I'll never be bishop, because like if they wanted me to enforce some kind of rule at girls camp, I'd be like, look, dude, like as long as it ain't illegal, just have fun. There's bigger fish to fry. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Here's my comment, first of all.
Okay.
On the subject of modesty, that's a whole other subject. I think we could do a whole thing about it.
We should do
one on that.
Topic on that.
Now, I'm not here to, I don't want people to get the idea that I'm here like enforcing some sort of modesty standard on these women or something like that. What I'm saying is that BYU was putting on an empowered women's conference.
Yeah, this is the crux.
And that like I'll associate with everybody. We'll talk. I'll be friends. I mean, that isn't the thing. The issue here is that when we put people up on stage to talk about mental health and what an empowered woman is, my issue is BYU, is that really, like, are these the examples? Are these the best we could find?
So here's what I think about the thing that you're getting across right now. And I think we're being very closed-minded in the way that we're approaching this, because we're only considering how do students at BYU perceive the people on the stage, right? Where I think it's important for us to also recognize and understand, how do the people on stage recognize one another? How does BYU as an institution get recognized by the Pac-12? How do all of these different levels of this conversation happen, right? And I think one of the things that's happening, you see, what did they call this? Lean into light together, right? Okay. I think this is an instance of BYU trying to do their best to be in the world, but not of the world, right? This is a empowerment of women sort of thing happening at multiple different schools. When BYU is approached, they decide, okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to find every place where we can agree and do our best to empower each other as women and lean into light together, right? That's literally the title of what they're doing. I think they're doing their best to deal with where society is at and try to build on where we agree so that we can have a good, enlightening conversation come out of it, right? Where, yes, there are issues with it. You've brought up good ones. Like there are issues with Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I do have to say, Brad, I agree with everything you say, but I am with Jacob on this one in the sense that whatever administrator did not see this problem coming from a mile away is wildly ignorant of the American culture we live in. I mean, Sports Illustrated is synonymous with pushing the envelope as far as you can go in terms of published images before it has to be registered as like legitimate porn. You know what I'm saying? So
but at the same time, I think it's important for us to think about, hey, how are those Sports Illustrated models going to be influenced by all of the nice, wonderful women that they run into there at BYU, right? I think there's a larger play here, and there's good things that can happen if we allow more conversations. Okay, Kweku, I have another thing I want to say, but go.
Well, I've got the first thing is, you know the Alex Jones quote where he goes,
Alex Jones quotes here.
I never f***ed any ding dongs.
Oh my gosh.
you said that?
Yeah. These women, like we're treating them like they're like first, we are approaching, and I know I'm about to sound like a total feminist right here.
Well,
Jacob,
with a young and dumb Instagram account, bro. I was not gonna say, dude, you're treading on thin ice with whatever you're gonna say.
You're approaching you're looking at these because I looked at these photos. I Googled them. This is not the scandal. I don't see this as a scandal at all. I'm like, that looks like any hot tub in Orem or Provo.
Wearing a fishnet in a hot tub in Provo with.
It sounds like Kweku didn't see the fishnet one.
Okay, please send me whatever fishnet photo is.
Okay.
All I would like to point out. All I would like to point out.
That is 2023. That is like the norm. That is completely,
okay, but just because it's normal for society doesn't mean it's good. I mean,
I know, but it's not shocking.
I think it does complicate things, right? Like you're talking about.
Okay, we got a hard out coming out here in a second.
The point is though, when you're looking at it and you're seeing them and you're like, a girl is looking at that and she's saying, "Holy crap, she has stayed in such great shape." You're looking at that going, "Look at this object." That's the difference. I'm saying
you're right. Sports Illustrated is a bunch of dudes.
Okay.
It was a women's empowerment conference. What is the empowerment you can get by living in a society in which I'm sounding like feminist. Women have to look hot to get attention, to be in the press, to be put in the magazines? How can you get empowerment from the standards they find themselves having to live in, from weight management, from hair, nails, tanning, all that? Where's the empowerment? Because the reality is men want this. Men ask for their wives to look like this. So how can they be empowered? That's what they're saying.
So Kweku, we should totally debate that.
Okay. That's what I'm saying, though.
Okay,
you have to be fair in understanding how women are even viewing it, because if you're looking at it from monkey brain only, going, titties bad, then yeah, you're going to think they're being objectified. But they're not seeing themselves as objectified. That's the point. All right, there.
Okay. Well, and also my only thing.
Lizard people.
My only thing is also who brings top billing and is actually going to get butts in the seat if you want the conference to succeed. They can't say who are the most famous models out there: Victoria's Secret Angels and Sports Illustrated swimsuit models. They're literally the most famous ones. So if you want to bill headliners as models, you're going to have to get either the Victoria's Secret Angels to show up.
And this kind of brings up one of the questions that I wanted to ask Jacob just as we're tying this up. Okay. What do you think could have been done better? Because I think it's very easy for us to criticize, especially when we don't have all of the information. Because I can imagine a situation where BYU is approached with this, hey, we want to do an empowering women conference here with you guys. Here's the people that we have on the panel, right? Do you think BYU should say, we're not doing it because you have the Sports Illustrated models involved? Or we are doing it, but you can't bring the Sports Illustrated models, right? Or, hey, we're going to reject this conference, but we're going to do our own thing instead. Like, what do you think is the right path forward?
So I would have, if I were them, I would have said, look, I'd explain very simple. You guys do realize we're a Latter-day Saint school. And as a Latter-day Saint school, we have certain positions about sexual imagery. We don't encourage our youth or anyone at this university to even look at Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition.
Yeah.
And so we would like to try and negotiate to have maybe alternative people that more align with the values of our university as examples of empowered women. And I think that they could find that, especially if you're talking about mental health. We have wonderful women in mental health.
I feel like they did, though. I feel like the panel that they put together, because we've also made it sound as though the Sports Illustrated models are on the same panel as the Relief Society president. They're not. There was a separate panel with the Relief Society president, Diljit Taylor, and Liz Darger.
Okay, I get that. But at the end of the day, I kind of even have a fundamental problem with that, Jacob, just because at a certain point, somebody's a celebrity. And they're well known for just being well known.
Yeah, there's all sorts of porn stars
are you
that are
literally
famous.
yeah, but are you literally going to go say, oh, if Kobe Bryant offered to come and in the Marriott Center during March Madness give a talk about how faith actually helped him at some point in Italy when he was with his dad, all of BYU would say yes. None of them would get their feathers all ruffled, say, well, he's advocated for the smoking the marijuana also, and at one point he was actually endorsed by an alcohol company, and our values don't say. Like, at some point, it's kind of like, as long as it's not like straight up Lana Rhodes or something,
at some point, you compromise your values to get accolades in the Big 12.
No, there's also, it's like,
So is it just, because that's where I feel like I have a disagreement with you, is I don't feel like it's BYU compromising on its values. I feel like it's BYU having the opportunity to showcase its values in contrast.
And maybe that was with the best of intentions. But I think that it's kind of weird when you have a bunch of women on stage that you literally would probably tell all the guys in the audience, by the way, don't Google any of these women's images.
Okay.
It's a women's empowerment event. I don't think there were many guys in the audience for starters. But
we're not going to agree.
Show me this fishnet photo, because I legit don't see. I looked these up.
No, quick. All right.
Quick was like, wait a second.
Like,
Let's do some research.
This did not look like anything different than what you see in a normal Instagram feed.
Listeners, if just be warned, trigger warning, whatever. If you go and Google the images of these women, you'll see what I'm talking about.
And I think Jacob does have a point that Carden did end up agreeing to, that Sports Illustrated is known for pushing the envelope, right? So there is a complex thing here. I just think it's getting kind of sent into too small of a argument of, hey, this is bad, therefore BYU is bad for having been involved in any way.
And I can see what you're saying. If there was the idea of an outreach to kind of interact with diverse voices, try and find some common ground.
Yeah.
All right. I think that.
Okay, I'm ending this. I'm ending this because it's already going to be hard enough to edit. All right. And I'm ending it on two thoughts. First off, the reason I'm very uncomfortable with these things, if I want to steel man your position, I'm not even going to do that because you've steel manned yourself enough. Fine. The only thing I'm going to do is laugh at the fact that when the LDS temple was going to get built as a fundraiser, the #1 swimsuit designer in North America, who was a member of the church in Los Angeles, designed a limited edition swimsuit whose sequins would be sewed on by the Relief Society and sold in order to raise funds to put the spire on the top of the temple. And this is the same swimsuit designer that did work for Marilyn Monroe and many other theatrical artists and actors back in the 50s. And it was wildly successful. And personally, I think we need to go back to that. Selling swimsuits on behalf of church buildings. So I'm
all right with it. I don't have a problem with swimsuits.
Okay, so look, fine.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, to me, it just always atrophies into I don't know. I just think there's so much bigger fish to fry.
And that's one of the things that I wish. This is a very complicated subject to talk about because I feel like it's very easy for us to misunderstand each other on what's happening with this because it's a layered subject, And I think it's very easy for people to hear some of the things Jacob is saying and think he means something different, right?
No.
And
I'm not a prude.
Yeah, exactly. But I think there are some people who might have heard what you're saying and be like, oh, Jacob's just a prude, which I think is too easy of a way to dismiss what you're saying because you have valid things to say that I think could be important stuff for us to consider in how do we move forward being in the world but not of the world. Right?
Okay, cool. Good job. That was a good outro.
Wait.
What?
Sorry, no. And
okay.
I found the fishnet photo, I think.
No.
This?
We're ending.
This?
Yes.
It's a one piece.
Made of fishnet.
One piece you can see through, Kwaku.
Kwaku.
I'm with Jacob on that one.
Goodness.
That's like that is a level of modesty that I think is probably unhealthy. I don't know. On my mission in New York, there was all of the like free the nipple marches and stuff that we would have to be.
And it's always the ugliest chicks that are engaged in that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, Carter.
And then weirdo hippies that don't shave their armpits and then want you to look at their boobs as they're bicycling down Broadway.
I think one of the like underlying factors that I'm trying to figure out how to engage with, Jacob, is like we have to be in the world but not of the world, and how do we do that in a way that we can affect the people around us, like, and know that we don't hate them for living in a different style?
It's the idea that
you literally sounded like a Sadducee saying he hangs out with harlots and publicans.
But that's the problem. That isn't what I'm saying. The whole thing is
then don't wear a plaid shirt with a Carhartt hat and a beard as you say it. At least throw on some pearls like Kwaku, because you literally look like Matt Walsh's angry uncle coming down.
I wouldn't have worn this if I knew this was going to be the subject today. My point is, it's just this. It's that this was not a neutral meeting of people to like, hey, we're going to get together, discuss this. We all have different points of view. I'm all for that. I'm a big advocate of that. It's that this was not neutral. It was, these are examples of empowered women.
Look, if you're trying to adjust the definition of empowerment and tell people, clarify what you mean by empowerment, that's fine. But to be a certain extent, I really think it is empowering to set a goal to look attractive for a modeling shoot and do it. I've seen girls that have been finally recruited by Victoria's Secret. Okay, well, by your rubric, Victoria's Secret is degenerate, and I don't know.
I have mixed feelings on that.
Okay, fine. Well, whatever. I've talked to girls who've never been happier in their life than when, after 6 to 8 weeks of super proper dieting and exercise, they rocked that runway, they did their audition, and they got recruited to be in the 2010 series of models.
And I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with bodybuilding competitions. I don't have a problem with the short skirts that the girls wear when they do the cheerleading.
Except bodybuilding competitions are kind of scary sometimes.
No, but the thing is that the purpose of it isn't something sexual per se. Like a bodybuilding competition is literally about showcasing.
I get that, but I'm saying at the end of the day, all this does is, once we all get done clarifying our positions, the only thing that's left is arguing about whether or not the swimsuit was appropriate. And the rubric for what is appropriate in our society is always either prudish Protestantism or 1960s boomer fashion codes. Like that's it.
That gets into the whole modesty discussion. And frankly, I think that's a whole discussion to have. But
Riley wants in on that one.
But that's one that's very
I'm ending this.
nuanced.
I'm ending this. We got to talk about something. I don't even know how I'm going to make that into a podcast. But here, we'll go.
Right now, tell me who you are. Get in the car. Right now, reach for the stars. I want it all. Right now.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Before you go, please make sure that you like the video, share it with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please let this be the video in which we earn your subscription, and that you press the alert button so you're alerted to all of our fun live streams and standalone videos and community posts. Also, if you'd like to help us out, please consider joining the channel. Members get all kinds of cool perks and benefits. They get early access to a lot of our videos and special emoticons and emojis during our live streams and preferential treatment there. It's a lot of fun. Speaking of a lot of fun, we have a super cool Discord. If you'd like to join our Discord, check us out on wardradio.com. There's a link to the Discord there. Also, you can sign up there for our newsletter. Our newsletter is a lot of fun, and you can put your email address in there. And if you'd like to contribute to the program, please consider looking us up on Venmo or on the Cash App. We're on both of those platforms. Also, if you just want to keep watching more content, right about here and probably right about here are going to be some more videos. Please check those out. And as always, for this and more, please make sure that you look us up and check us out at wardradio.com.
This is what it's like to be one of the best. Moving to the beat, feel the song in my chest. Yeah, you know we turning up, never settling for less.